Welcome back, everybody, to the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here. We are in the final week of Season 3 as your Gamecocks have prepared to take on the Clemson Tigers here in Palmetto Bowl. Number 3 of this series. Head coach Smeems is undefeated in the rivalry so far, but today the Tigers have a chance to spoil our perfect season, and we are going to try our best to prevent them from doing so. They have veteran running back Will Shipley back there in the backfield, but they will be without young, promising quarterback Cade Klubnik. Instead, we will be facing off against true freshman quarterback Craig Bale. He will have to get the start for the Tigers, but the Gamecocks will get on the field first with a 2nd and 10 as Julius Canary quickly brought down. The strength of this Tigers team has always been their defense, and they still, despite the record, are extremely talented. So on a 3rd and 10, Canary, he's going to roll out, fire, and that should have been an interception by about 2 Tiger players. But instead, it falls harmlessly to the ground as the Tigers get a quick stop, and we get our first look at Bell and Shipley. This offense is very dynamic. Will Shipley with a big run on the first play of the day. He's got 14 yards there for the Tigers. Now Bell out of the shotgun. He's going to keep it with Shipley. Shipley again has a nice run. This time he's muscled down, but he's got 5 yards. We have a good, very good sometimes defensive line, but we have struggled in instances against the run, especially when the team is very run heavy. But that time, Shipley got nothing. He loses 3. Kawan Banks broke free off the block on the left side, and the Tigers offense starts on a 3rd and 8 now. Craig Bell's going to make a pass outside, and Randall drops it. That was Adam Randall. Had a chance at it, but instead the Gamecocks will get the ball back here. 3rd and 10 now for the Gamecocks. It's going to be a pass to Rucker on the slant, and he just not even really close to the first down marker. 9 yards on the play, but the Tigers get the ball back in good field position here. 5.5 minutes remain in the first. Will Shipley right down the middle, untouched, pushing and leaping over a few tacklers. Would-be tacklers, I should say. 22 yards for Will Shipley. He's got 38 rushing yards so far in this first quarter. He was untouched. Tells one man to get off of him, jumps over another, and now the Tigers have a good spot here in the red zone right around the 19-yard line. Bell's going to go to Shipley, cuts it back up the middle, untouched and into the end zone. Shipley from 19 yards out as Shipley shows his vision. He is going to be one of the higher drafted running back prospects in this next year's NFL draft, I imagine, as Will Shipley just shows talent right there. So the Gamecocks, you want to answer if you're Julius Canary. 2nd and 9. He's going to settle for the curl route as Sampson catches it, and he's quickly brought down, but it's still a good gain there and a first down for the Gamecocks. Now Brandon Robinson on the jet sweep. Usually this goes for big yardage. This time, no different as he breaks the first tackle and off to the right side. He's got it past the 50 and now down around the 43-yard line. 3rd and 10 now for the Gamecocks. Julius Canary right above 4 minutes remaining. It's going to be a play action. He fires and he misses the wide open man. Nate Wiggins in coverage, but he had gotten beat. Instead of a touchdown, Canary misses Landon Sampson. Now 4th and 10. They're going to go for it in no man's land. Robinson makes the grab, and he's got the first down. 10 yards for the Gamecocks. Now 2nd and 9. Julius Canary is going to be in the shotgun. He's going to step back, fire deep to the end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown, Corey Rucker. 31 yards. Julius Canary has come alive with his connection to Corey Rucker here in these last 4 weeks. That one is no different. Rucker beats both guys on the left side, and he has a touchdown there. We tie it up 7-7. Now Bell, he wants to throw this time into double coverage. Jake Breinings, the reliable tight end, makes the grab and runs for a couple extra yards. That'd be 16 there. Now 3rd and inches. Bell out of the shotgun. He's going to go to Shipley. Shipley's got a lot of space down the middle of the field. Racing down to the 5. Markham at the 6. 22 yards for Will Shipley as he continues his strong showing. 2nd and goal now. Bell's going to go to Shipley. No, he keeps it himself, and he's wrestled down in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 4. Gilbert Edmond brings him down for the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Now 3rd and goal. Craig Bell wants to go to the air. Fires to Antonio Williams, and he can't quite get there. Thought they would have been aggressive, but Dabo Swinney, the head coach of the Tigers, settles for the field goal, so the Gamecocks do force a kick. But still, they cannot get anything going on their next drive, so we're going to have to punt that one away. Final play of the first quarter now. Craig Bell's going to fake it to Shipley. He's got a penalty. He's going to fire to Ennis, and he's got a grab. It was a false start by the Gamecocks anyways, so now in the second quarter, 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. Craig Bell in this offense has been very, very electric so far. Craig Bell going to fire, and that's a catch, but it's not a lot of space to run. Jim Young quickly brought down by Debo Williams. The Tigers settle for another field goal, 13-7 now, as Marshawn Lloyd's going to pick back up on the next drive. He has not had a good start. This defensive line for the Tigers is getting a lot of pressure, so 3rd and 5 now. Canary firing, intercepted by Wiggins. Wiggins on the outside trying to cut it back out, and Lloyd saves a touchdown right there by the palmetto tree on the field. That one's just a beautiful read by Nate Wiggins, as Julius Canary didn't even see him coming back to the ball. Now Will Shipley trying to get going for the Tigers. This one is a 6-yard run as Shipley trying to be a workhorse running back for the Tigers. 3rd and 4 now. Craig Bell out of the shotgun. He's going to take the snap. He wants to throw. Misses his man wide open. Looks like they're going to have to settle for another field goal unless they go for it. They do not. I was expecting a little bit more aggression here today from the Tigers, but instead they settle for another short field goal in the red zone. So instead of being what could have been a 21-7 lead, it is still just 16-7. It could have been 28-7 actually, because they've had 3 field goals now. Julius Canary on 2nd and 10 on the next drive. He goes to Landon Sampson, cuts open into the middle of the right side of the field, and he's got 19 as he is wrestled down. 2nd and 8 now for the Gamecocks. Julius Canary has Lloyd to his right. Lloyd's probably going to stay in the block, I imagine. Instead, he goes out. Canary's going to fire deep downfield to Rucker, who's got the grab and into the open field. No safety deep, and he's got a touchdown, 54 yards. As Corey Rucker ties the record for most receiving touchdowns in a season. Julius Canary, what a throw. It's gotten to the point where he can just throw it to Rucker or Corey, and Corey can just make a play with it, and he can just get into the open field and do whatever needs to be done. So despite all the success for the Tigers, they only lead by 2 here as we enter 3rd and 9 territory late in this second quarter. Phil Maffa's going to take it on the screen. He does just get enough for the first down. He's got 10 yards. Almost brought down in the backfield. Instead, now they're further down the field on a 2nd and 6 past the 40. Craig Bell's going to want to make a pass. He's hit as he tries to let go of it. Has not had much success through the air today, but they're going to need him here on 3rd and 6. Bell with Shipley behind him. It's going to be a delay. Bell under pressure makes the pass, and it's dropped. There is going to be a penalty marker. It's going to be an offensive pass interference, so the Gamecocks don't accept it, but the Tigers decide to go for it on 4th and 6. Maybe you should have accepted it because Bell makes a dot to Adam Randall, who gets both feet in. And the Tigers cooking now, 3rd and 14 here late in this second quarter. Craig Bell's going to fire to the screen. Phil Maffa's got it. A missed tackle, another missed tackle, and Maffa's got it down to the 10. 18 yards by Phil Maffa. Now a 3rd and 2 deep in the red zone. It's going to be a run with Shipley. No, Bell keeps it himself on the read option. He's got a touchdown. Craig Bell kept it himself at the last second. He yanks it out. And that is a big touchdown there for the Tigers late in this second quarter. 1st and 10 now. Julius Canary rolls out. He's going to go deep down the field. Not again. Corey Rucker got the grab and a touchdown. What a play by Corey Rucker. The 3rd touchdown of the day, and that is a new school record. The first since 2005. 14 receiving touchdowns on the year. And that would be our introduction to the second half as the Gamecocks sticking around in this one. The Tigers playing a great game, trying their best to continue to upset this Gamecocks team. But right now, they are only up by 2 despite the big lead they had in that that first half at one point as Craig Bell goes down for a loss of 8. That one's Gilbert Edmond, the senior lineman. He's going to make a nice sack there from the blind side, and the Gamecocks will get the ball back with a chance to take the lead here. We've seen this before. Brandon Robinson going to get the jet sweep. He breaks into the open field. One man to beat, and he misses him. Brandon Robinson is gone. 42 yards for the receiver. Brandon Robinson, it's become a staple in this offense to get him running on the ground. He reminds me so much of De'Kerion Joyner with how much he can do in this offense. And that is a beautiful possession there. Now Phil Maffa on the next Tigers possession does everything he can to just get back to the line of scrimmage. But that is not going to be enough now. 3rd and 5 for the Tigers. Bell is all alone in the backfield. He wants to make a pass. This one, nobody open until at the last second. He found a man, but he drops it. Stellato was in coverage. The Gamecocks now on a 2nd and 13. We have a chance here to basically take a 2-score lead despite how poor we played in that first half. Julius Canary is going to make a pass outside and right in the middle of 2 defenders. Landon Sampson settles in the zone. He's got 17 now. Julius Canary wants to go deep again. This one's underthrown and intercepted by Wiggins. His 2nd of the day, and he's quickly wrestled down. Nate Wiggins, just a bad pass there. Not a terrible read, but Canary wasn't able to get enough air underneath it, so the Tigers now in the Wildcat formation. Phil Maffa breaks off into the secondary, across the 40, to the 50, and now on the opposite side of the field. Phil Maffa wrestled down at the 30. 53 yards for the backup running back as Will Shipley struggling with some cramping issues. He has not been on the field in a couple of drives for the Gamecocks now deep in the red zone. They're going to go to the backup freshman, the 3rd string, Jordan Williams. He doesn't have a touchdown there, so now a 3rd and goal. Bell and company. You've got to expect this is 4-down territory. Bell wants to make a pass. This one's deflected. Stone Blanton and Debo Williams do a great job of covering the middle of the field, and the Tigers settle for their 5th or 4th field goal of the day as Scott Hall breaks free. Oh my goodness, not another big one. Nobody there to even come close to him. That one was so quick, I didn't even have a chance to narrate it. Julius Canary finds Hall on the corner route. His initial defender gets pushed down, and the safety misses the tackle. And Scott Hall, showing his athleticism as a big tight end, he goes for 75 yards. And the Gamecocks up 35-26 now late in this 3rd quarter. We are very, very happy with the outcome of that one. Craig Bell now on 1st and 10 is going to take it himself. He's showing some athleticism. He's going to be the future of this Tigers offense. He's got a 13-yard run. He's already, or was a 4-star coming into his career. And now at an 82 overall, Bell has a bright future, but on 1st and 10, he's going to settle for the outside pass. He fits it in there to Adam Randall. That was almost intercepted. I thought O'Donnell Fortune would have had a chance at it, but Bell instead continues this Tigers drive. 3rd and 6 now, last minute of the 3rd. Bell holds on to it, fires to Adams Jr. He's got the 1st down. Keith Adams Jr. almost stepped out of bounds too early there, but a 7-yard gain gets him the 1st down. Now 8 seconds left in the quarter. 2nd and 14. Bell rolls out right into the arms of freshman Rory Patrick. He was redshirted last year as a 4-star defensive end, and this year he has broken multiple Gamecock records as a redshirt freshman. Rory Patrick has a bright, bright future ahead of him here at South Carolina as we are now at a 3rd and 1 for the Tigers here. The first play of the 4th quarter. Bell going to set back fire, and he's got his man Briningstool. Wasn't expecting that one to connect, but instead the Tigers have a 2nd and goal after a penalty back at about the 15. That one's deflected down to the ground, so Craig Bell struggling to find success through the air until this most recent drive they're on. But a 3rd and goal deep down in Gamecock territory. Bell's going to step around, fire to Williams. He makes a grab, a beautiful catch, but he's tripped up. Now 4th and goal. They're going to go for it here. Bell wants to throw it this time. He's immediately under pressure, breaks the first tackle. Another missed one, throws to the end zone, and he can't connect. Craig Bell did a great job of avoiding the pressure, but instead of getting a touchdown, it was a tough back across his body pass. The Gamecocks now on 1st and 10. A missed pitch back there to Lloyd. Oh my goodness. Tragedy almost struck there. That's a loss of 11 yards now. 3rd and 21 for the Gamecocks here. 5:22 and counting. Julius Canary takes the read option. He's got some space, and he's upended and spun around. Tough running there for the quarterback, but it is not a 1st down. 3rd and inches on the next Tigers possession. Craig Bell going to try and pitch it. He can't even get a chance. Rory Patrick going to bring him down in the backfield. That's a loss of 3. His 3rd tackle for loss on the day. As the Gamecocks now trying to run the clock down here on a 3rd and 3. Julius Canary, you very rarely see him under center, but he is this time, and Marshawn's going to get the 1st down for this offense. We have basically put the dagger in this one as long as our defense can stand up to the Tigers on the next possession. Now Brandon Robinson, another jet sweep. He's going to take it. He's got some nice blocking. Not again. Past the 10, to the 5. No one there. Touchdown. Brandon Robinson, another 35 yards. The earlier one was 42 yards. This one's from 35 out, and the Gamecocks offense, another big strike. This day today has been full of big plays for us on offense, as Jake Briningstool has a nice 15-yard catch. 4th and 4 now for the Tigers. The Gamecocks, we've basically ended this one. 20 seconds left. Craig Bell's going to go to the air. He finds his man, Randy Ridgway. Ridgway breaks off into the middle of the field, and he's got a touchdown for the Tigers, 33 yards out. They would try the onside kick, I would imagine, but it didn't go their way, obviously. Julius Canieri's going to kneel this one down, and we can basically solidify our perfect season here. 12-0, the first year under head coach Belak Smeems. We have done so many big things, and I'm just very, very excited that it all finally came together with a janky quarterback coming in. Julius Canieri, a former junior college player, comes in and leads us to an undefeated season. That is just the perfect story if you're a Gamecock fan. Just a perfect season coming together, culminating in this big moment as we beat the Tigers for the 3rd straight year. But we do have some bigger things to worry. Class, we finished number 8 in the country as far as regular season recruiting goes. We had 8 4-stars, 3 5-stars, or no, 5 3-stars, 3 2-stars, no 1-stars, 16 total prospects, so we could have had a little bit more. As you'll see, we finished with a couple new commits outside of the other people that you've already seen. This is our class as of right now. We have room for more in the offseason. We have room for about 9 more commits if we're able to get anybody or convince anybody to try and come over here to South Carolina. Thankfully, though, a lot of commits. 9 out of 25 scholarships remaining is a pretty good number in my opinion, especially where our roster stands at right now. As far as conference championships around the country go, we have a bunch of interesting ones. Obviously, we'll talk about us playing Alabama later. Then you've got in the Conference USA, you've got East Carolina taking on Tulane, Georgia Southern taking on Louisiana in the Sun Belt, Nevada and Boise State in the Mountain West, USC taking on the 2nd-ranked Oregon Ducks in the Pac-12. That's one to keep your eye on and see if the Ducks are able to stay undefeated, because if they win and we win, we're pretty much in the national championship against Oregon. Then we've got Syracuse taking on Miami. I think Syracuse is a sleeper there to have a chance to upset the Hurricanes. Then we've got Minnesota taking on Ohio State. Ohio State pretty much guaranteed to win that one. The Gophers had a rough season, but that side of the Big Ten always has a rough year. Oklahoma State taking on Cincinnati. One of the better championship games, in my opinion, outside of like USC and Oregon or us and Alabama. The Bearcats are number 25 in the country. They're 10-2. Oklahoma State 16 in the country, so that's a big matchup there. And then you've got NIU versus Kent State there for the MAC conference. If you're going to look at the final standings for every conference standings for the year, we have obviously us at number 1. Oklahoma finished number 2 in our conference. Then you had Florida, Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt didn't win a single game. Then on the western side, you've got Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn, A&M, Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and LSU down there at the bottom. As far as the ACC goes, you had in the Atlantic side, Syracuse, FSU, NC State, Wake Forest, Boston College, Clemson, and Louisville. Then we had on the flip side, Miami, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, Duke, Virginia, and Virginia Tech. Big 12 was an interesting one. They moved out Oklahoma and Texas, but they still had a good year. Oklahoma State was good. Kansas was good. Baylor was good. Iowa State was average. Kansas State was average. TCU struggled. They lost a lot of production, but Cincinnati, one of the newer teams, was good. It's really good for the Big 12. Houston struggled. This side of the conference really struggled, and I'm hoping they can bounce back next year, especially for the Big 12 to continue to be one of the bigger conferences. Ohio State has a chance to make a national championship if one of us between Oregon or obviously South Carolina loses. Penn State, very good. They lost one game. I have to imagine that was against Ohio State. They lost by 4, so that decided their conference championship. As you can see, Michigan State, Michigan struggling, and Minnesota on the other side struggling. This side just not as nearly as good as the other side of the conference. Finishing out with the last major conference, Oregon obviously dominated the North, and USC won the South, but they actually had a 2-game worse record than Utah, but I'm imagining that USC beat Utah, I would imagine, or they didn't play this year. I guess, they did play. They lost by 22. So, yeah, USC beat up on Utah. They were able to win the tiebreaker there because their conference record was the exact same. So that's how it's going all around the country. You've got to see exactly who ended up winning the Heisman Trophy. Was Javante Barnes, or has a very likely chance to win the Heisman Trophy? We'll take a look at all the awards and stuff once the season's over with, but we're going to wrap up this episode with a preview of our first SEC championship under head coach Belak Shmeems here in South Carolina. We're going to be playing in Atlanta, obviously, against the 13th ranked Crimson Tide. Right now, they're picking Alabama to win this one. Statistically, ratings-wise, Bama's better all the way across the board. Points per game, we're better by 3. Total offense, they beat us by about 8 slots in the rankings. Rushing offense, they beat us. Passing offense, we beat them. Total defense, they dominate us. Total rushing defense, we dominate them. Passing defense, they dominate us. Turnover differential, they dominate us by a large margin. It's going to be tough to win this one. The Crimson Tide have been good for so many years underneath Nick Saban, but they have 3 losses. They lost to Missouri, a team that upset us a year ago. They lost to Tennessee by 3 under Marcus Satterfield, and they lost to Texas A&M by 3. So all of their losses were by 1 score or less. As you can see, Julius Canary, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. What a year by him. But for the Crimson Tide, their quarterback, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And on the ground, they have Williams running for about 1,600 yards and 8 touchdowns. Excuse me there. And they have a lot of production on this team. So I'm nervous, but I know if we play well, we'll be able to win this one. But as of right now, it's going to be a tough matchup. The number 1 team in the country, we get to take on the number 13th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide next episode in the SEC Championship game. I hope you guys will all be prepared for that. I'm very excited to see what happens in that game, and I hope you all join me for that one. Thank you, though, for continuing to support this series. As always, I will see you guys next episode. I hope every single one of y'all has a great day. Goodbye.